The Last Oricru is an action RPG game where we try to show relativity of good and evil in the life-breathing world.
It's important to understand that The Last Oricru is quite challenging and hardcore RPG. Waking up in the living and breathing sci-fi medieval world of Wardania, players find themselves in the middle of war for supremacy over the planet.
There is something interesting in the war, where usually warriors from both sides believe that they're doing the right thing and they're fighting for their own survival. So the idea is to show the player the war and the euphoria of the winners, but also the misery of the losers. To make the player realize that the number of decisions he can make in the game will affect all the living beings in the world.
Exactly. The Last Oricru is about many decisions, and each player can define their own path to side with different factions or betray them and influence the future of each race and in the end, the entire planet. And it is not done just by few choices somewhere in dialogues or by completing some quests, but by your own continuous actions and decisions.
Glorious! The steel plates on our enemies has just turned into paper. The wrath of justice will cut through the clutter of armor speedily. Rattlers, we leave for fortress. Our raptors need help. Seize a ship and spread the flames of revolution.
The impact of those decisions is major. First of all, you are the one who will decide which side will win the war. But there are many different roads throughout the game, and you will experience the whole game only after multiple playthroughs. I wanted to give you every player his own experience and try not to push him any moral code of what is wrong and what is right. Simply, you make a decision and the actions are based on the individual characters. They have their own reactions. This creates different situations. So you find your own friends and allies and play how you think is right or fun.
Flawless. I will make sure it doesn't fall into unworthy hands.
Or you can be a bad guy, so nearly everyone hates you.
Yes, there is an option to do as much harm as you want in the game. And there are some dark characters that would be pleased by that. However, cooperation with them may eventually become very painful for you. That's another interesting thing, that often there is a hidden party involved in many wars, which profit from both sides of the conflict and the conflict itself. So that's a bit of hidden part that you can take in the game, which will be expected a little bit more difficult to play.
Now, let's take a look at another key feature of The Last Oricru, couch co-op. There is a great demand for couch co-op in the whole third-person action RPG genre. And so we are sure that for our future audience, the co-op is going to be one of the most important features of our game. That's why we went even further. We have many situations that can be solved in co-op differently than in single player. You can find new fun ways of how to kill some bosses or reach some special secret areas.
You know those lonely nights when you're playing games which you are super exciting for you, but you feel a little bit sad that you cannot play it and share with somebody else? That was generally the idea for this game. The combat is targeted for more experienced players. I am very much on the wave of recent challenging RPGs that are based on the skills of the player, timing and stamina. We are trying to build some interesting magic mechanism in the game that would let you use more than the block and fast attack buttons.
And don't forget that our game has sci-fi roots. So what is for someone magic can be for more developed culture technology. So, as we said, dynamic story structure, couch co-op, those are The Last Oricru's unique selling points. But as the true action RPG, you will spend most time fighting your opponents.
Be prepared to die a lot.
A lot.